Political consultant and co-founder of the Lincoln Project, Rick Wilson. Rick, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So Tuesday, we heard from top Senate Republican Mitch McConnell talking to reporters, and he said, I believe the quote was, he's happy that there's no Senate race in North Carolina. He was referencing some scandals involving Mark Robinson. But how concerned are you that Republicans, how concerned are Republicans that divisive candidates might hurt the party this time around?
Well, you've seen once again that bad candidate selection really does have an impact. In Arizona, you've got Carrie Lake up for another term at bat, a Trump favorite. She's polling significantly behind her Democratic opponent. In the governor's race, as you pointed out in North Carolina, Mark Robinson, with a very checkered and colorful background that has been revealed recently, is now down about 15 points in most public polling. You've got Dave McCormick in Pennsylvania, who, although very wealthy, is not really connecting with voters in the state. He's better than Doug Mastriano was the last go-around, but he's really not a guy who's setting the map on fire. And you have a variety of other Republican candidates in Ohio with Bernie Moreno, who's falling significantly behind Sherrod Brown, Mike Rogers in Michigan. And why are they all disconnected? I think from greater success. They've got a lot of money, but they just can't quite connect. They were all the choice of Donald Trump. There wasn't a competitive primary process in any of these states. And they end up with candidates of a lower tier of candidate quality and ability to go ahead and out there and connect with voters.
What do you make of how Trump and Harris have been attacking the campaign? Trump's been stumping a little bit more than Harris, but we've heard the Republicans' ground game doesn't match the Democrats. What do you think that they could both do to maximize their chances?
This is not a campaign at the end of the day where there's a lot of new information to be had about Donald Trump. People know what and who he is. They are still learning about Vice President Harris. So far, as they've become more familiar with her, as every week that's gone by since she got in the race, she's gained about 1.5% on her favorability ratings. She's doing very well in the head-to-head polls in the swing states against Trump. It's a close race, but she has gone from 0 to 90 miles an hour very quickly. So I think she's run a really terrific campaign. Trump's campaign, as you point out, does not have a ground game. They outsourced it to a couple of these outside groups, and those groups didn't do the job. One led by Elon Musk, one led by Charlie Kirk of Turning Point USA. They are not out there putting in the door knocks, the voter contact.
What do you think would be the key for either candidate to reach those rare undecided voters?
I think Vice President Harris needs to continue to communicate what she's going to do for families in this country who have been hurting in the last not just year or two in the inflation window, but beyond that, who feel like that they have not had the ability to start their lives, where college debt and medical debt and other things that have held Americans back in stagnant wages. That's something I think she can continue to address with voters. It's been very popular when she talks about a home buyer tax credit, an increased child care credit, a childbirth credit. Those things have been very popular in the polling I've seen. For Trump, he's really working right now on an operation to turn up his base voter. He's not trying to reach undecided voters at this point. If he was, we wouldn't be talking about eating dogs and cats in Ohio. He's making a play just to motivate the Trump base, which, if I was in his position, that's probably the strategy I would pursue as well, because he doesn't have a lot of other traction right now, with moderate and independent leaning voters.
Lincoln Project co-founder Rick Wilson, thanks so much for your time.
Happy to be with you.
And if you are an undecided voter, it's not just the campaigns who want to hear from you. We want to hear from you, too. If you're still considering who you'll support this November, you can find out more about talking to us. Scan that QR code right there on the screen. ABC News may contact you to be part of our election coverage.